Hi, and welcome to the second episode of the Compilation Station. Today I will be playing Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, Alien Storm and Altered Beast, giving my overall opinion of each of them and then awarding them a score out of 10. Let's get going. Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle was released in Japan in 1989 and in the US and Europe in 1990. It's the fifth game in the Alex Kidd series and the only 16-bit entry. Together with Opa Opa from the Fantasy Zone games, Alex was something of an early mascot for SEGA until Sonic came along. There are a lot of people who have very fond memories for this series. Unfortunately, I don't think this game holds up very well. The controls are incredibly floaty and imprecise, leading to frequent deaths. There's also a completely random rock, paper, scissors minigame that you have to go through every time you want to buy something from a shop. I would kind of be okay with this if you just lost a bit of money from failing the minigame, or if prices in the shop were more expensive as a result, but instead you lose a life. This is incredibly unfair and has meant that my opinion of the game started to sour very quickly. Considering that the Mario series had already been established for quite a few years at the time this game came out, and showed everyone just how to make a clever platformer with tight controls, I'm afraid Alex Kidd just doesn't cut it. I really tried to make progress and give the game a fair shake, but the irritating gameplay and punishing difficulty conspired to test my patience, to the point where I didn't really want to continue anymore after about 30 minutes. I managed to briefly see the third stage once, which was an underwater level, but getting anywhere at all was very hard going. Overall, I'm afraid I really didn't have much fun at all with Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, and as a result I'm awarding it a score of 3 out of 10. Alien Storm was originally an arcade cabinet in 1991 before being brought to the Megadrive in the same year. Strangely, I don't recall ever seeing an Alien Storm cabinet in my youth, despite frequenting various arcades quite a bit. I would see Golden Axe all over the place, but never this one. As a result, I don't really have any nostalgic feelings towards the game, but having spent some time with it, I consider that it's the sort of thing I would have quite enjoyed back in the day. I played quite a lot of scrolling beat-em-ups like Double Dragon, Golden Axe, Final Fight and the Turtles arcade game, and this offers up yet another twist on the genre, science fiction. More specifically, an alien invasion. All manner of horrible beasties such as snail-type things that use trash cans as their shells, little green dudes and gigantic bosses are all there to ruin your day. You pick one of 3 playable characters, a man, a woman or a robot thing, and can team up with a friend against the alien hordes. The main weapon of each of the characters is fairly weak in my experience, and having played as them all for a bit, I couldn't discern a huge difference between them. You also has a super move that is useful for clearing out a screen full of baddies or taking down a boss quickly. Much like in Golden Axe, from time to time smaller enemies appear that drop health or energy. The energy is used to power your super move, and should you run out of it completely, your standard attack will be significantly weakened as you have to resort to bashing your enemies with your gun instead of shooting them. As well as the standard fighting stages, there are also first-person shooting stages and other levels where your character is running full pelt after some monstrosity or another. This helps give the game a bit of well-needed variety. The gameplay is still rather dull if you're playing by yourself. These games are always best when played with a friend after all. On the whole though, I actually quite like Alien Storm, though the graphics and sound are not the best, so I'd probably give it a 7 overall. Altered Beast was also an arcade game before being ported over to the Megadrive, as well as many other consoles and home computer systems, in 1988. You control a centurion in ancient Greece who has been resurrected by Zeus to brave the underworld and save Athena from the evil sorcerer Neph. To do so, you can transform into various beast forms, such as werewolf, dragon, werebear and weretiger, with a different form being available on each stage of the game. You do this by giving a special blue 2-headed wolf a quick boot to the head and then picking up the spirit ball that appears 3 times. I never particularly liked Altered Beast all that much in its arcade form, but at least it was possible to make progress in the game by putting in more money and continuing. On the Mega Drive version, you only get 1 credit and the game is pretty challenging overall, so it's quite hard for a solo player to make any headway. I believe you can continue if you have a second player helping you out, but unfortunately I was unable to test this out while I was playing the game for this video. The Mega Drive version also has noticeably inferior graphics and sound quality compared to the original, making it an incredibly average experience overall. In the early days of the Mega Drive, Altered Beast was a pack-in game, so I can see how many people have nostalgia for it. They probably played it quite a lot before they moved on to bigger and better things. The Greek theme and the animal transformations are quite cool concepts, but the game just isn't as fun as it could be, and personally I think it never was all that fun even when it was first released. A very middle of the road 5 out of 10. So there we are, 3 games down but many more to go, and they definitely get a lot better than these 3. Next time I'll be taking a look at Bonanza Brothers, Columns and Comic Zone, so until then, take care.